Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with a quick video from Hughes Water Gardens here in Wilsonville, Oregon. I'll link their information down below. Sorry, no microphone today, so I hope the sound's going to come out all right. So we're going to take a tour through their nursery, and this is a place that you just don't get this kind of stuff where I'm at anymore. You know, when you live in a desert, stuff for water gardens is kind of not something that they focus on. So like carnivorous plants and other water-loving plants, they're just not in nurseries where I'm at. So when I get a chance to come over and explore an Oregon nursery, especially one that focuses on ponds and gardening, it's something that I really have to take advantage of. And they've got a lot of stuff here. There's all sorts of perennials. Those are perennials for the shade over there. There's some magnolias, so nice big bushes. There's winter blooming camellia, yeah. I should remember this. Yep, winter blooming camellias. And then there's all sorts of other plants here. So you got your water hyacinths, and you know, some of these you got to be careful because some states actually restrict this. Oregon permits it, so I think that's going to go in the local family pond, the one that I'm helping my parents do. And then we've got some iris over here. Ooh, those are looking nice. Lots of different types of iris. And since you're not always going to see the bloom, they've got the nice photos there so you can see what they're going to look like. So they've got water-loving iris. We'll go in here because I know there's some big fish in here. And they're just really kind of setting up for the year. So some of this stuff is not yet available. I don't think there's anything in there but water hyacinths. I know this tank over here has some really big koi in it. The camera doesn't show you, but that guy's over 2 foot long right there. So lots of big koi fish here. Okay, let's go look at some of the other things. And you probably can't hear it, but there are frogs everywhere. It's got your fairy moss. This stuff grows really super fast. Then we have an outdoor area and some planting ideas. This is something nurseries always do, at least ones that are good with marketing, is you show ideas of how you can put things together. So this is an idea I might actually take because I've got a rain chain. I'll have to add water in the summertime because we don't get water in the summer. But yeah, that's an idea. I like that. And we've got some other, they're just, like I said, just getting started. So there's some hutania in the back. Be aware if you plant this anywhere in the soil, that stuff will take off. And it's got a funky smell to it too. Yeah, that stuff really takes off. There are lots of other ideas as far as ponds. You know, this is kind of one of those things that I would do a destination trip. So if you are out of the Portland metro area, so like Portland, Oregon, if you're outside of that area, I would maybe plan a weekend or like a few days and hit several nurseries at the same time. But if you want pond plants, I think this is one of the ones that you're going to want to come to. It's a pretty good sized location. A lot of stuff here. I'd say it's worth the trip. Let's get in here because I know they're just starting to get some of their water lilies and things in. It's a beautiful grounds. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, this is Gunnera manicata. Common name was coined as dinosaur food. The leaves on that can get up to 6 foot across, but it is such a high user of water, you have to grow it in a pond. You cannot grow it terrestrially if you have any sort of water bill. I used to grow it in my yard, and in the summertime I had to have a garden hose trickling on that. But you know, just the look of that plant You know, this leaf here is about 3 foot across, but by the end of the summer, 6 foot across leaves are not uncommon for an established plant. This is a fantastic planting, especially if you have just some dappled shade and a wet pondy area. That stuff is awesome. There are a few water lilies in right now, and I heard that they're going to be getting some in the next week or so. So that should kind of fill this in. Calla lilies and canna lilies. And more water feature plantings. And then there's all sorts of margin plants. So these would be plants that you would plant right in the soil on the edge of the pond, where you can have those plants grow that give you a little bit of shade, give some shelter for any young offspring of either fish or frogs or amphibians or anything else water loving that you have around your pond. And there's a lot of different varieties of those. And here's some plants that are a little bit further on the margins, so these would be ones that want a little bit drier, like our mint here. It says aqua mint. It's kind of like a peppermint. I probably wouldn't want to taste that and see. Was that marshmallow, I think? And more of that hutania. Creeping Jenny. If you're a wet area, don't get that started. It will take off through your lawn. And all sorts of other rushes. It's all rushes. This is your equisetum. So equisetum, so kind of the dinosaur tree looking plant. These are, I believe, the females of those. And here's a thread-leafed version of equisetum also. And then they have all different sorts of rushes here. So there's some corkscrew rushes, and they have several different versions of corkscrew rush. So those are kind of cool. And I think that's a fiber optic rush, I think is one of the common names for it. Then, of course, you have your sedums and sempervitums. All sorts of stuff. And some of this stuff is considered steppable. So like these Blue Star Creeper here, that's something that you can step on from time to time and it's not going to hurt it. So that is a good one there. A little bit of Coreopsis. Some Dianthus. So as you can see, they got a pretty good selection of stuff. So there's definitely something for everyone here. Really kind of focusing on, right now at least, the perennials. So getting ready to have those plantings for your wet, shady areas or your damp, shady areas. Some of this stuff is really going to be reserved for your more temperate climates. You know, something where you stay a little cooler in the summertime, you've got more available moisture. You don't have to do as much irrigation because, like, some of this stuff for me, I have to heavily irrigate in order to get it to actually survive. I had a bleeding heart, Dicentra spectabilis, which I saw one here somewhere. Well, there's a Dicentra, but that's not a spectabilis. But it's the standard bleeding heart, and it didn't do real well for me because I didn't water it this winter. So that was my fault. But just a good selection here, a good solid selection, some beautiful plants. And definitely, I would say, a trip to make if you're needing water plants, pond plants, or you know, decorative ornamentals. So let's keep going through. There's a few more beds here, and I want to kind of catch everything. I did get a chance to peek at some of their carnivorous plants. I got those a little early. Here we go. This is a Dicentra spectabilis, but this is the golden version. There's a deep green. I can hear the frog. I can't see him though, but I know he's there. It's going to be a western tree frog. I'm looking for the frog and not paying attention to the plants. Now I got to pay attention to the plants. So there we go. Just all sorts of water features here. You know, water is kind of the life of the garden. You know, without it, the garden kind of dies. So having active water in your garden really can add a lot to it. It brings a lot of animals in too. So birds, ground-dwelling wildlife. Well, that's kind of a fun one. Kind of spirals down. Looks like almost like an ammonite. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, I'm kind of a sucker. I'm a sucker for this. There's a little pond, something to tour down. Oh, look at the bamboo. Massive bamboo. Look at that. Yeah, this is definitely a benefit of living in this area. In this area of Wilsonville is a little bit wetter. The soil is better at holding ponds. You know, standing water is easier to come by here. So here is a big natural planting. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, definitely an area to grab lunch and come down and do some shopping. Or you could do it like I did, which is I came on a Sunday morning with some coffee. The plan was to have the coffee in hand so I didn't carry as many plants and I saved money. That didn't work. Sorry, dear. I found plants. Oh, and here's more pond layouts. So there's going to be more things in here as the season gets going. But they're kind of empty right now. Lots of very unique tree specimens back here. This guy's fallen over. I'm not going to set him up because he's just going to blow back over. Fantastic. More of your pond plants. A lot of this stuff I don't know what it is because I'm not a pond guy. I was a bedding plant, hanging basket, and herbaceous perennial guy. So we didn't grow much pond stuff. So out here is some of the gallon containers, so the larger stuff. So some of the same rushes that we were seeing. Yeah, lots of stuff. So anyway, I'd like to thank Hughes Water Garden in Wilsonville, Oregon for allowing me to come through and do a walkthrough video. Definitely I will be back. I have more plants that I want, and maybe I'll come back with my better YouTube setup. I really wasn't planning this morning, but I got a lot of carnivorous plants that I was looking for, and I had a lot of fun. So I've got a family water garden to get done now, and some other family business. I'll head back north, well, in a couple hours. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of this tour. And as always, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you subscribe to Ag Teacher Thoughts. And if you feel so led, become one of our Patreon supporters. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.